GottaBeReel movie reviews with Thommi
Hey.
and Jules. And right now, we're reviewing Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And don't get excited like it's going to be good because it's really not. And I'm sorry I just gave that away, but you can look at Tommy's face right now. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I told you so. All right. Jeepers Creepers is rated R and it's 1 hour and 28 minutes, too long. It stars Gary Graham as Ronald, Dee Wallace. We love Dee Wallace.
First, I love Dee Wallace.
As Marie.
Who I love her the most, when I loved her the most is in The Howling. That's a very old classic film.
Check that one out.
Cujo. You know, it's one of my favorites. You know, I'm a Stephen King lover, but Dee Wallace has been acting for a long, long time, and she's still working. She still looks good too.
She still looks great.
Yes, she does.
She's also in E.T. So, like, if you didn't watch these horror movies, you could have seen her in E.T. or General Hospital or a plethora of other things.
We got to do E.T. one day.
Yeah, we
review
do.
E.T.
That is a
It's
true
been a while.
classic, for real, for real. Emerald Adams plays Chase. He's the boyfriend. And Sydney Craven plays Lane, and she's the girlfriend. And if you're like, I don't recognize these names, that's because they got, other than Dee Wallace, a lot of not well known.
They actually do, not any offense or anything, but they actually do call them unknowns.
Okay.
Whenever I've heard interviews, they're like, yeah, we wanted some unknowns in here. So it's not offensive. It's not that we're saying, I'm sure some of these people have work, but that is just a term that they use. I try not
to offend.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. We respect people doing their work.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry I keep sighing, but it's probably going to keep happening. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go, and then we're going to go, and then we're going to be done with this.
We're going to go. All right. So Chase gets his girlfriend Lane to accompany him to the Horror Hound Festival. While she's there, she starts having premonitions and disturbing visions about the town's past and about the creeper. So, yeah. You know, I've said this before. I don't think I've said it recently, but I have mentioned this before. I can watch a movie and be like, that's not the United States. That's not the U.S. And some of these actors, I'm like, they're not Americans, even though they're portraying Americans and they're pretending to be, like in this case, Louisiana, which they did shoot some scenes in Louisiana, but majority of it was filmed in London.
And I don't understand why. I mean,
they rushed it. They rushed it, you can tell. I mean, they couldn't even use the actual truck from the other movies because it was too expensive to fly it over to London, so they had to recreate that. They couldn't use the actual song. I mean, they used a different director.
Okay, so here's the thing with, first of all, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? That's the movie. That's the eerie feeling you get. Okay, so the first two were directed by Victor Salva. Okay. Everybody knows the story here. Victor Salva was convicted of pretty much child molestation. He was convicted, not accused of it, convicted. Did a very, very small amount of time in jail. Okay. The first two were the best ones. I love both of those. Unfortunately, the issue with the director was there, but the third one comes out. He does that one. Okay. This absolutely sucked.
They should have
and
left it
blowed
alone
at the same time,
they
all right?
left it alone.
So we said part three, people were being extra melodramatic. So we said, okay, this was absolute crap. So when we heard that there was another one coming out, we were told that this was going to be an origin story, okay? Right? Because we don't know where he came from. We don't know why he's here.
Okay.
Why does he come back, every 23 years, something like that, for 23 days or whatever to feed? Why? Where did this come from? You know what this movie told us? Absolutely nothing. It showed us some people in the town doing, I don't know, some witchcraft or something. But I'm like, why is this here? Because you're still not telling us where this man came from and why.
They just threw something together, and this is what ticks me off. This is what ticks me off. They slap something together, right? And then to trick people, I'm sorry that they're tricking the true fans. I'm kind of a fan, but we've said 50 billion times, Thommi is a super horror fan.
And I love trick people.
They brought it out for 3 days. You could see it for 3 days only, and they didn't mention anything about whether it's going to be streaming or come out in the movie theaters, which now it is in the movie theaters. But they brought it out for 3 days to get all these people in, to get their money.
Then extended
real quick, and plus 3 days, that's a little less time for the word to get out to say, hey, it sucks, don't go see it. And even if it did, people already bought their tickets, or they're like, well, I have to see it for myself because these are diehard fans.
Yes, like
and they
me.
tricked y'all.
I went the third day, only to find out, first of all, the movie sucked and blowed at the same time, okay?
Yeah.
They extended it. Here's where we should have known that what we're about to see was about to be absolutely heinous. The director did a foreword, okay? We cool with forewords, 30, 45 seconds. I kid you not, it felt like we were watching him for 10 minutes. Telling us the whole how he did the movie and with the pandemic and this and that. And I kept seeing, okay, his speech is getting kind of long here. Can we start the movie? And he's still talking and talking and talking. So we're like,
giving
okay, there's
excuses to his mess.
That's what everybody was saying. I never understood why he took that long for a foreword. Nobody does that. But that's exactly what people said. It was like, yeah, so basically he was letting us know beforehand the movie was going to be terrible. Yeah. It was terrible because you didn't tell us anything about Jeepers whatsoever. It felt like it was appeasing to pop culture, especially the beginning of it. Jeepers is supposed to be vicious and mean and vile, and the kills are supposed to be absolutely outstanding. None of that. You know what the movie did?
Yeah. It was very pedestrian. It was not.
We are so disappointed in this movie. I'm guessing this is going to be the end of the franchise because we don't have it in us anymore. I'm going to accept the fact that we got 2 really good Jeepers Creepers. That is part 1 is absolutely fantastic. Part 2 was good as well. I'm just going to accept that that's it, and it's probably over. And I'm okay with that. I can't take any more disappointment from some of my favorite horror. Like Halloween, and Jeepers Creepers and Leatherface. But I don't understand why they didn't do anything they said they were going to do with this movie. Why were these townspeople even in here? You told us absolutely nothing. Nothing. Okay. And I'm angry. I want to go to the town square with my fiery little torches, and I want somebody to pay for this heinous movie. Why you do that to me? I've loved Jeepers Creepers from the start, and y'all do this to us?
It's gonna be okay.
No, it's not, Jules. It's not okay.
Right, let me get into these notes. So
okay, I'll stop the melodramatics.
The actors Justin Long, Derry in Jeepers Creepers, and Ray Wise, Jack Taggart Sr. in Jeepers Creepers 2, were invited to have special participation, but an agreement was never reached with either of them. So.
I would have loved both of them. First of all, it crushed my entire heart when Derry got killed in the first one. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just the saddest thing ever, and he was just the sweetest boy. Part 2, that's the dad. I believe they're talking about where his son got taken by Jeepers, and he literally sat there in his barn with his weapon, waiting for him to wake back up. And it was just a sad thing. I'm guessing that there's some reasons. I'm guessing there's some reasons maybe that they're not going to mention why they didn't come to an agreement. But if they brought Justin Long back, he would have only been a memory, like he was in part 2. He was a memory. The girl was having these visions on the bus. This whole bus sports team is traveling somewhere. The girl on the bus is having these visions, and she sees Justin Long trying to tell them to go back, turn around. So if they brought him back in this one, he would have to be another memory. So I'm not sure. The dad in part 2 was already, he had waited over 20-something years again, and he was already pretty elderly. I don't see how he would, again, he would have to be a memory, because at that point I would assume that he's probably already passed away, maybe passed the torch on to his older son. So I don't know, but I'm guessing there's some other stuff that we probably don't know why they didn't end up doing that.
I don't know. Victor Salva had already written a script for Jeepers Creepers 4 and was expected to return with the original star Gina Phillips as Trish Jenner.
That was Derry's sister.
As the lead after her brief appearance in Jeepers Creepers 3, which was in 2017. This has since been rejected, and either Salva or Phillips will be involved. Similarly, the same happened with Salva's original 2008 script for JC3, titled Jeepers Creepers 3 Cathedral, with Trish as the lead. Salva had a script written, and Phillips was ready to return when the studio decided not to move forward with the idea.
It happens. But a lot of people, though Jeepers Creepers has a cult following, a lot of people would constantly complain about the fact that he had been convicted of this child molestation and was still allowed to sit out and kick it and make movies. Yeah. Like I said, he only did a small amount of time. I don't know why. But that was people's major gripe. Well, he's not in it anymore. The new director, I say at this point, just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
This one filmed in 5 weeks on locations in Hampshire, London in the UK, Louisiana, and some forests in Finland. This is the second Jeepers Creepers movie to contain scenes shot in Louisiana, where Jeepers Creepers 3 was previously shot.
They could have really just did it in like your backyard, and it would have had the same effect, which was, it sucked. All right. And this is not anything on the actors or anything. This was the whole writing of the script was terrible. It was horrible. I can't blame the actors for that. It was just so bland and silly and explained absolutely nothing. I don't even understand what the point of it was.
There was no point. For this film, a new creeper truck had to be built. This is what I was mentioning earlier. This is due to the fact that the 2 original trucks were in the United States, while much of the project was filmed in London. Transporting the truck was very expensive for the production. Also, the script warranted a truck that was visually more worn and damaged than the original truck. Filmed predominantly in the United Kingdom and Finland, making it the first Jeepers Creepers movie to be shot outside the United States.
I really don't know why they shot it outside of the U.S. And then Jeepers didn't even look the same. They almost made him like a man at first for a hot second.
They used a different comic for that. I ran out of space because there were so many things that they talked about with this, but you could Google that. They used the different comic version of him with no spine and all this. The costume that Lane uses for the Horror Hound is a cosplay for Jennifer Check from the movie Jennifer's Body.
We just did that
2009, starring Megan Fox. Yep. Since almost the entire roster of actors are English, they had an accent teacher to master the Southern accent of the United States, which some were good and some were slipping up here and there.
I heard a little slip here and there. I did hear that. Like for us, it would be easy for us to have a Southern accent because we live here in the United States. But I can't imagine going to London or something and trying to pick up their accent. That would take some time. It takes some skill to learn a different accent and also keep it steady during the whole movie. It's not an easy thing to do, but I felt
like Canadians, they slip up with sorry. You gotta slip up with sorry a lot. That's your tough word. I'm sorry.
Tough word.
I'm saying I'm sorry. This story. I'm sorry. Like, oh, Canadian.
You heard it. It slipped a little bit. But it's a hard thing to keep
Googling.
up.
Is this person Canadian? Where they from?
They shot this pretty fast too. But you know what? It makes sense. You shot it pretty fast.
You shot it fast.
Wasn't good at all. And I think
this fast. So how many clappers?
Are
you gonna give it a clap?
I'm trying not to cry again for what I'm about to say.
Oh Lord.
I think this may be the first time that I've given this. But we have to keep it real. We're going to keep it real with you. That's what we're here for. We told you we're going to keep it real, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Do it.
My broken heart.
Do it.
Give this 1.5 clappers.
1.5? I thought you was going to go straight 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you. It's getting 1.5 clappers.
What's the half for then? What's the half?
Just for the fact that, the actors tried. The fact that they showed, the fact that nobody else was wanting to come back for some reason.
We're not like teachers where everybody gets a participation trophy. Go ahead and give it what you want to give it, girl.
No, we're not, and it gets 1.5, and I'm highly disappointed. If they did try to come out with another one, I would not be excited to see it. There would have to be a brand new direct. I don't know, between the writers and the director, that's between them two. Somebody failed on both the last 2 Jeepers Creepers. And my heart is crushed because Jeepers Creepers is in my top 5 favorite, most scary horror characters.
You're making me kind of sad right now.
And it literally breaks my heart. And I when I did this review, I said, this is going to be quick because we just got to get it done. It wasn't good. Honestly, I would tell you to wait for it to come free on TV.
Well, I'm going to give it a solid 1 clapper.
Ain't mad at you.
I'm not gonna try to, sugarcoat it or appease these people.
Can't even blame you.
It was garbage.
Gosh, I like the way you kind of gave that an accent and then it made it sound a little bit bushy. I just said it both sucked and blowed at the same time. Yeah. That's it. There's really nothing else left for us to say here. I'm getting upset again. I'm gonna cry and stuff. So let's
where they can find us.
Yes, you can find us on Facebook. We're on YouTube.
Okay.
We're on Instagram.
Yeah, all day.
We're on Cash App. If you want to make a contribution to us, you'll see our Cash App right in here.
Reimburse us for seeing this.
Yeah, because you should feel sorry for us right now that our eyeballs had to witness that. And, have a heart.
Because I'd say, just skip this one. But if you're a big fan and you just like, I have to add it to my collection of movies to see, and I just want to see how bad it is, then try to see it for free somehow. Like if you get a free Redbox.
And I'm guessing it's probably going to be streaming on one of the services at some
point.
But
don't pay $19.99.
Oh heck no. Oh,
wait till it's like, what's it, $3.99 is the lowest?
I paid $9 and I
99 cents.
Wait for it to come free on one of your streaming services. Like you said,
one of those services for free.
If you're not me, who's followed every single one of these movies from the franchise, I had to see it, because I was hoping it would be redeemed from part 3.
Me too. Not hardcore as you, but
it was actually worse than part 3. Like, how did you do that? So you know what?
Because they just slapped it together and said people gonna see it.
They were just like, pew, there's a movie. 5 weeks, there you go, we're done. Yeah. And we're gonna shoot it out of the country for no apparent reason. So we're gonna spend all this extra money for no reason. And it's just going to be a bunch of crap. You know what? We're going to be done with this review. I want to tell you thank you very much for tuning in. Also, we are on the FearCon Network. Go to Connect to Your City Studios. You'll see the FearCon tab. You'll see a lot of our horror and thriller coming on, new movies, old movies. If there's something you want us to do, let us know. Send us a request and we got you covered.
Can't they also go to PhoenixFearCon.com?
Yes, PhoenixFearCon.com as well. And there's some really good stuff on Phoenix FearCon. Got some stuff coming up, some guests coming up to do panels and all that good stuff, but there's always something going on with PhoenixFearCon.com, so check that out as well.
Please do.
We are going to go ahead and close this out with a sad and disappointed heart, the review of Jeepers Creepers Reborn. But we thank you very much for sitting here and listening to this. We appreciate it because it probably wasn't easy, but thank you, all right? And we'll see you for the next good review, all right? Yikes. See you later. Bye-bye.